There's a cool little spot, I think it's over here. It's a little like park cut through. Yeah, this is the spot. Yeah, man, I hated school, man. Real bad hated school. Actually, I quit school. I probably say in my mind I gave up, done with school in the 3rd grade. That's it. Never looking back. I had a teacher, we didn't like each other. I felt like she wasn't even looking at my paper and just putting F. She was real spiteful. And I just said, hey, I'm giving up, I'm done. So I literally I'd go just like this on every question, hand it into the paper. I just mark whatever. Seconds, I'd be, boom, I'm done, Miss Procopio. And she didn't care, she just flunked me. You know, they could try to call my parents, this and that. And my family's mentality too was always like schools for, you know, my dad, the way he is. He'd be like, oh no, books, that's for girls and that's gay and stuff like that. Oh, he ain't going to college, you know. He's gonna work like his old man. That's how they were. I was bad at school. You wash cars like your old man. So that's what I want to do. Teacher said, what do you want to do when you grow up? I remember once I said, well, I want to wash cars like my dad. And then she laughed. She's like, why would you, like, that's no job. And I was getting cocky and smart about it. I'm like, nah. I said, my dad supports me, you know. And then they come by, here's the free lunches, you know. I got my hand up. But he always had that mentality, nah, you don't want to read no books. So I never got into it. I always wanted to be like my dad anyway. So I had no interest in school. And my friend was telling me, he's a little bit older than me, because he said, why are you doing? I said, I don't want to do schoolwork. He said, young man, he's like, you got to get inside these slow classes. You don't got to do no schoolwork in these slow classes, and they can't fail you. It's against the law for them to fail you. You get to watch movies all day. I can tell you any scene in Lion King, you know, like. So I said, all right, how do I get around this? So I had to ask around. You got to look like you're trying. That's the thing. You got to miss questions, but look like you're trying. And that's how you do it, because otherwise they just think you're a bad kid and they send you to the bad school, and I didn't want that. So I was failing for a whole year. They never brought up slow classes. I didn't want to ask them, hey, can you put me in slow classes, you know, and for a whole year they did it. And they used to put me inside a bus in front of the school, and that was way more embarrassing. You'd have to walk in front of everybody and go to this bus with a few other people. So I just wanted to get inside that classroom where they're all having fun. So I was like, man, I'm missing every question. How much worse could I do it, you know? So the next year I had a new teacher, and I convinced him. He set up the test to have my IQ tested. And he said, I was in a room with a bunch of specialists. And I said, I'm definitely knocking this out of the park to get inside these slow classes. So I faked it so bad. Even with shapes, I took the little circle trying to fit it in the square, and I'm looking at the guy real confused, and I'm like, oh, I'm looking back at the square, and I'm trying this other one, and I'm really trying. I'm rubbing it in there. I remember at one point I even blew it off, like that would help. Like I blew on it, wiped on my shirt like an apple. And I could tell he wanted to laugh, you know, but I had him fooled though. And I fooled him so good that they actually sent me to a handicap school. That's how bad they thought I was. And everybody there was in wheelchairs, and it was a complete handicap school. At first I hated the school, but that turned out to be the best thing that ever happened to me. I learned sign language, I had fun. I met a girl in there, I had a nice little girlfriend. She was, you know, hey, but she was nice though. For years and years went by, and you know, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, these were all easy grades for me. And then they told us about this thing. We took this proficiency test. Even though I was in slow classes, they had to still let me take the test. And I ended up passing it with flying colors. I had the highest scores in the state. They put me on the news. They thought I beat this being learning disability. They thought I figured out how to beat it. So I'm sitting here now, I'm BSing the whole town on it. You know, now I'm saying, well, you know, I watch Rocky a lot. I'm telling these people, there's probably some people watch Rocky there. And I got sent back to my original school. I got to see all my old friends. Like, now I was in high school. But even though they put me in regular classes, I was so behind on the education, they had classes called integrated. So the rules still matter, but they have to grade you by where your education is. So technically I had like less than a third grade education. I was 17, you know? So like I was doing spelling bees with really simple words, you know, like, and then we just do the even numbers. I'd have 3 questions for homework. That's all they'd give me is 3 questions, little pamphlets I'd take home. And my mom would put my schoolwork on the fridge, you know, because she'd still be proud. And I remember my dad didn't even know it was my schoolwork. So he asked my mother at dinner, he said, why are you putting our little grandkids and nephews and grandkids' schoolwork, their little preschool work on the fridge? And she said, Don, that's your son's homework. So it was my homework. I was so embarrassed. I was like, oh yeah, Dad, no, it was just a joke. It was a gimmick. You know, I'm trying to play it off. And when he found out it was my school, I remember the look on his face was like disgusted. He said, yeah. He said, you ain't going to that school no more. He fooled me out. He said, you're going to learn how to wash cars real good. You're going to have to work hard, son. That's what he told me. So I quit the school. I started washing cars like my dad. I went to school with him. He said, you're going to learn how to wash cars real good. So I worked there for years, and he retired, and I took his job. I was manager. And I thought I was like the cool dude, you know, all my friends are going to college and they're broke and they're this and that, and I'm making all this money. So I'm washing cars, and I was making like, you know, $800 a week washing cars. And there was this kid there that I went to school with, John Wayne. I seen back in high school. We called him Elephant. That was his real name, John Wayne. You know, some of your parents named you John Wayne, you know, the Duke, that's what we... John Wayne, he used to act like an elephant, real slow kid, you know, like, but nicest kid you'd ever meet. But hey, he'd run up to you and bite you and stuff. He'd be biting people, and he just all day like an elephant. He'd be picking up pencils. So I'm working at this little car wash, and I hear he comes walking in to buy a car. You know, John Wayne's in college. They're paying for his college, and he comes in, he's pushing the stroller. He got a son, looks just like him, right? And they both walk in, and they're dressed in karate suits. Dude came in a karate suit. I said, so dude, where are you studying martial arts at? I didn't know you did martial arts. He said, oh, no, man, this is just nice, man. I like this suit. And they sold him a car, man. So, kid's doing better than me. That's our story.